for me to take pause from my heavenly rest to travel here this evening to talk with you about a matter of grave concern. And I beg your attention to what I have to say. Now, I hear Washington, D.C. is awash in turmoil and dirty politics. There's a news flash for you. Washington, D.C. has been bathing in muddy water since before I resided in the White House. They say our country is more divided now than at any other time in our history. Really? I recall a time when this nation was embattled in a grave and costly war among itself. Cousin against cousin, brother against brother, father against son.
Stories and memories from my nearly 4 years working for President George W. Bush, but there's one that is a hallmark and one that I tell everywhere I go, so forgive me if you've already heard this one, but I'm gonna tell it for those who have not heard it. And it goes back to October of 2008, and it was just the tail end of the Bush administration, and something really cool that President Bush would do for all staffers as they left the White House at any time during his presidency was to invite them into the Oval Office with their families for what we call departure photos. Kind of a quick hello and goodbye in the Oval Office. It was a really cool thing. And obviously, as the administration was winding down, the line of departure photos was very long because we have had a constitutionally mandated retirement from White House service all at noon on January 20th of 2009. And I invited my parents to come with me. What's cool about my parents, I think, is that they are both immigrants to this country. My dad came from England when he was 4, and my mom came from what was then Yugoslavia when she was 20. The president looks at my dad, and he says, "Pops, where are you from?" And my dad says, "I'm from England." And he kind of pauses for effect, the president does, and he says, "Now think about that for a second, y'all. We got 2 immigrants to this great country, and their only child works for the President of the United States. Now that's pretty darn cool, ain't it?" In that moment, she's Eastern European. And if you know anyone from Eastern Europe, there's only one emotion that happens at that moment. She starts crying. So the president goes in to give her a hug, compassionate conservatism, right? He goes in and gives her a hug. And he goes to do what he would naturally do in that moment, to give her a kiss on the cheek. Except there was a slight miscommunication, and they landed on the lips. I witnessed my mother kiss the President of the United States on the lips in the Oval Office.